Hello, everyone. I'm David, and I'm with Brandon, and he's a TI, and I'm a TI, and we're here to do a follow up with him. And so Brandon, we were just talking about devices and how he's. Could you explain how about what they do to your devices when you get them, and how you got a new phone and you can't make a call and stuff like that, even with call apps?
Yeah. So like I've had 100 phones over what it's been about like overtly I've been targeted for over 12 years now. And like I've had 100 phones, and every time I get a phone, like I just bought this phone and just hooked it up now so I could do this interview because like none of my stuff works like at all. Like I downloaded a bunch of texting apps to get a hold of my kids and stuff like that. None of them work at all for no reason. Like there's no reason for it. Like I don't know, whatever. Like I've had so many different devices. Every single time I have a device, it's hacked almost immediately. It won't let me make phone calls. It won't let me make texts. It won't like anything. If I get minutes on my phones and stuff like that, my text will cut out, or like my text won't be sent, or they'll cut, like my calls will be cutting out and whatnot. But like I'll get calls coming in all the time from whoever, right? You know what I mean? But like
Yeah,
they'll
and
always be
you
asking,
can't
is
get
this
them.
doctor's office? Is this it's always like a reference to you're crazy type of thing. You know what I mean? Like all the calls I get, all but this was
Right.
happening for years to the point that I stopped even having a like I got rid of phones and all this sort of stuff, right? Just because it's so hacked that I can't even get around it. Like I'm not too tech savvy, you know what I mean? And like I can see like the programming. Like if I say something like bio cyber interface. Usually my phone will cut right out immediately, or I'll start skipping, my picture will freeze or something, right? So it's really trying to control my narrative, what's going on around me and any person that I can even talk to. Like all my account, like even my ex account, when I go on my ex account, it says migrate and then goes to like a black page, and it's all I gotta change all the settings and all every single time. I've heard a couple people say that now. But like the programming is beyond like even like the narrative of each video that's even coming up is it's a narrative. Like you can piece it together. Like it'll skip and want me to read this one, and then it'll show a video that's going with it. It's like, but it's always bad. You know what I mean? Like it's always bad. It's always, I don't know. Like it's
Right.
narrative
And so
driving to
text
the
now
point
apps
where
or
it's
nothing don't
always,
work.
yeah. Like it's
And you
totally
got
weaponized.
Wi-Fi?
Mine, like I'm not even going up. What's that?
Does your phone hook to Wi-Fi?
Yeah. So that's how they're getting. I know that's how they're getting through is through the Wi-Fi, because like even our dish was, they'll shut off our dish. We had to get it replaced 3 times because the thing keeps burning out. Someone's shooting or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
guess
I
what they
don't
did
know
to
what.
me? I
I
was
don't
in
know.
Shreveport, Louisiana, jumping trains and whatever, and I get a call. My phone just, I had a government phone, and I paid for unlimited minutes. I paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So I get my phone gets cut off. I call the company. The company said, "Oh yeah, you've been using your phone way too much. You've used over 10,000 minutes, and we cut your phone off because you went over the limit." I said, "It's supposed to be unlimited calling." Boy, they play all kinds of games.
It's anything to drive you nuts. You know what I mean? Like I did the same thing to the. Like I know they don't want me to have communication. That's they want us isolated. They want all these things. They had it for years with me. Like I said, it's been over a decade overtly. You know what I mean? Like I used to make all the videos back in like 2016. I was, you know what I mean, showing all the proof, all this stuff, and then now I
Yeah.
can't get into those accounts. Whatever else, you know what I mean? Like just lots of weird stuff. Like I don't know if you can see, like I don't know what this is. Okay, so we got houses right here. We got, I don't know if you can see that dish on the top of the thing there, pointed directly at us. There, let me see. Like
I can't see it, but
here,
hold on.
where are you?
Vaguely I
Ah,
can
well,
see it.
anyways, on top of the roof, there's like a white dish pointed right at our deck. Like there's enough, you know what I mean? So what is
Right.
that? You know what I mean? Is that just distraction? Like these people have stalked. Like they come out, they try to make friends with us. Like even our dogs' names, they copied our dogs' names.
Wow.
But whatever, that's one house there. Like I mean, I got it's the same with everyone that's being targeted. You know what I mean? They come in, they infiltrate the neighborhood, they pretend like you're a danger, they pretend all these things, and then they drive you crazy so that you're not talking to these people, acting normal and whatnot. Right? Like this is years ago. Like now I understand, I think I understand what's going on with myself. I can't speak with anyone else, you know what I mean? Like I got the remote neural monitoring, I got whatever. Like I was
So you
literally
said when you go
programmed
to a
with.
store, you got to think of one. You think you got to put like Dollar General in your head, like you're going there, and then you'll just make a U-turn and turn off to the corner store real quick.
Yeah, I've been doing that for years. Like same thing. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Like if I don't, they're right there every single time. They're always doing something, right? What can you
do
do?
you experience V2K any lately?
So I do, but it's not like it's an inner monologue, right? So what can I say? Uh, like it's my voice, but it'll be topics that I don't know about, and I've had it in the past where it's like different languages where I'll have to go look up the language or like look
Wow.
up what it was said in that language to find it. Like I know it's obviously not me, right? Like, but how long that's been happening, I have no clue. Like this could be going on for a very, very, very long time now. Like I'm just so used to it that I never clued in till like I found out about biocyber interface, wireless body area networks, all this sort of stuff, the remote neural monitoring, and what's been going on, right? Like they can repeat. Like I know it sounds weird, but they'll repeat what I'm thinking through other people in real time. So like I always thought that like people walk around with their cell phones, they're reading what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking. I'm sure that like that does happen too. But this is on such a mass scale with myself, like it's ridiculous. Like I mean, it's in real time, like we're Sims, you know what I mean? Like they're repeating
Right.
stuff, like they don't know what they're doing most of the time. Like certain people and stuff like that. Like I could tell the perps from the actual normal people that are just, you know what I mean, going about their day, but it's almost like they're put in my vicinity on purpose to make you think blah blah blah. You know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
no clue what's going on.
How do you communicate with people? Do you use somebody else's phone or something if you can, or try to?
Yeah. It's I rarely communicate with anyone other than like family that lives with me type of thing. But yeah, I use other people's phones. And a
Wow.
lot of the time they won't get the messages and whatever, right? Like
Have you
there's
tried changing your router password? Not
I've
the
tried. I've
Wi-Fi
literally
password,
over
but
the
the
years I've
router.
tried everything. I've tried that in the past. Like now I live with other
Oh
people,
yeah,
so I
you
don't.
got to
It's not in
watch.
my
Yeah, you
control
can't
too
just do
much.
that.
Yeah. Like I've been stripped of all assets, all jobs, all everything. Like I was an iron worker for years and years. Then like I ended up working for this one company, Flynn, and like all I was doing was city jobs, like city halls, arenas, stuff like that. And then my last job was a fusion center. And this is in 2013, right when it started, like going crazy over where I was being stalked everywhere I went. Happened there. So this is in
So
Toronto.
you were
Like I'm
basically
from
building
Ontario,
fusion
Canada.
centers when
Yeah,
your
I
targeting
was building
started.
the fusion center while researching fusion centers and all this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's weird how it happened. And then years later, I find out about the fusion centers, how they're doing it all. They're orchestrating your medical records, your police records, your family, every piece of data they can collect on you, even through your phone and whatever you're saying near your phone, is all being stored there, disseminated to whoever. Like, you know what I mean? Me personally, I don't think that the crackhead perp on the streets got access to my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Right.
I know they're stalking. Like these people will come in from wherever, right? Like I've been in multiple different cities. Like at one time they had me so programmed that it was like I can I explain it. So like I get the directed energy weapon things, but at first, so when I was really going through it, this is probably around like 2015, 2016 when I started making videos. So I was like pretty much homeless, wandering the streets at this point after having an awesome, like I lost my house, car, the whole bit. and they were like directing me to food. So like I'm starving walking around Toronto, and they'd be like doing left right programming. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah.
Like so like I'll get shocked on my feet, right? So right foot means yes, left foot means no. So I'm wandering through the street. This is how they trained me to think this way and direct me to food like that. It's a big city. There's millions of people, you know what I mean? So it'd be like I'd be walking down the road, get zapped on the right foot, turn right at this street, zapped, and then it would lead me to food. Like it was messed up. Like there'd be like someone's takeout, not touched, just left on the street corner.
Have you ever had
And
your
this is
subconscious? Have you ever had your
what's that?
subconscious tell you to eat, 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 eat?
Yeah,
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 because
yeah.
there's another dude
It's
I
always
interviewed. His name's Daniel, and he gets that from his V2K. It tells him to eat all the time.
yeah, it's messed up. Like it's so like this has never stopped. So like I've only been caused like extreme pain a couple times, which was really weird. Like, it was like I feel like I'm being shot. Like it's like shock therapy, well, not shock therapy. Like I'm being electrocuted all day long, and it's always
Yeah,
like an internal monologue, like saying whatever I don't like this, and it'll be saying no, no, no. You know what I mean? Like it's something's electrocuting. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it, but it's all day, every day for a very long time now. So like, even though I don't get like an audio input, it's my narrative, and you know what I mean, and like it'll shock based on what it's trying to feed into my head. It's hard to explain.
wow.
I don't know. Some other people have to like because I don't listen to that. Like I can discern between the difference. You know what I mean? Like my own internal and whatever else is being fed in. Like if it's a different language, obviously you're gonna be like, you know what I mean? What was that? And then go look it
Right.
up. And it'll be a reply based on what I'm doing at that time or something. Right?
Any honey
But
pots
the
in the
shop,
last few months?
not in the last. Oh, I've isolated myself big time, buddy. Years ago, like yeah, lots. I
Right. And
never the hottest girl ever. I was with her for a
isolation,
while. So
that's why multitasking works for targets is because when you're isolated, you need to multitask, get three or four things going. You'll find it helps because they want you isolated. That way your brain is not doing that much activity. You're just sitting there, and that way brain entrainment works better in isolation. That's why they isolate it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, even before you started saying that, I was doing like me myself. I have classical music playing in my head all the time. Like it's
Wow.
me, like you know, but like
They
I'll
say if you
play
play
that
classical
while
music, you're smart. It makes you smarter.
I play. I could play piano and guitar and all that sort of stuff
Oh,
too, right?
really?
So that helps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it helps big time. Like you know what I mean? Like it helps me. So if I got that playing, and if I got like Beethoven playing in my head in the background, you know what I mean? As it's coming in, I'm not paying attention as I'm doing. But I've done this for as long as I can remember, like my whole life. I've been doing that. Like I'll always have
Right.
music playing, but
So
I
you
only
find
listen to
playing
music
instruments
if it works,
helps
though.
for your
Right?
targeting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, so you know how people get like they'll be listening to a song, they'll play this the same sentence over and over in their head. Like I listen to music without words just for that fact because it'll pick that one sentence that's negative and just replay, you know, over and over and over.
Wow.
But so this is years of just learning how like it's different with each person, right? Like every single person, to me, it's like even the directed energy weapons and all this sort of stuff. I think it's like for some people, like for myself personally, I think it originates in the brain. Like I think I'm part of the N3 project, the DARPA N3 thing. I like it. I got something put in me, and since then, this has been happening.
Right.
And this has happened. This was in like 2015, right? Like you got to pick up the pieces afterwards and then you know what I mean? Figure out how far back it goes and everything. Like I hear some people saying it goes back to when they were born and stuff like that. I'm not just like saying that's not true. I don't know, but like my turn, like I know the gang stalking stuff was happening back in like 2006 for sure. Like I gotta look back now, but it was happening. I just didn't realize until I was they wake you up to this fact, start training you with certain colors, the red, you know what I mean, over and over and over and over. and it never ends. Like it's like the Ewan Cameron experiment in Canada or whatever, where they're doing the MKUltra stuff. I'm not even saying that's what it is. Like I could just piece together all the different pieces, but to me, it makes most sense that it's originating, like even the pain and stuff. If they could see through our eyes, they can hear what we hear, what we're thinking. You know what I mean? What makes it? I think personally for myself, that it's originating in me. Like I don't think my neighbor's sitting there zapping like a person. But I
Have
am
you ever
being
been
like
sitting in a
in this
room
conversation.
and
I've been zapped 30 times since we've been talking. You know what I mean? Like anything that I say, it's always the opposite. And it's always like a weird, like, whatever. I don't agree with the tranny stuff. Zap, zap, zap. No, no, no. You know what I mean? Like and it's been happening for the zapping thing, at least like 3-4 years now. But I wasn't going along. Like I said, it had me like a Manchurian candidate. I was following their orders based on these zaps and like whatever, over 5 years ago. And I was
so you
wandering
just
around,
taught yourself to ignore
whatever.
it?
Yeah, it's impossible to ignore, but I know, like, say if it's zapping to do, you know what I mean? This is true. I know it's the opposite. So now I'm trying to like retrain my brain, even like to get into the yes, no shit it's impossible because it's not like a sentence or nothing. It's like zap, your brain automatically thinks that. So it's just a different, like, it's like behavior modification for the worse, if that makes
Right.
any sense. It's like the man, like at that time when I didn't know what was going on and I'm wandering around and they're zapping like here, it's leading me to food. Like it was weird. But at that time, I had like reality was so twisted at that time. You know what I mean? Like I was listening to whatever, who knows what's going on really. But they could have said, go attack this person or what, you know what I mean? That who knows what would have happened at that time. I don't think I would have, but when they're attacking you with 50 people falling around, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then I tried to do like the math of it all, you know what I mean? Like even if you had 10 people following you for 10 years every day being paid $20 an hour, it's like $6 million, almost $6 million. And I have like 50, you know what I mean? So like what made me so worth that money, you know what I mean? But there's whatever. Like I all I try to do is educate anyone that wants to kind of understand how to break it down. I don't have no permanent answers or anything. All I know is, to me, it's like Sims. Like I'll know. Say my brother's also targeted. He doesn't understand what's going on, but he thinks whatever. But like I'll know that he's coming over. Like I'll just get that in my head. He's coming, and he'll walk in the fucking door like every single time, over and over. Or like if you're being gang stalked, the lining up, the timing and stuff like that. I always thought that they're watching me going down. You know what I mean? But most of these, I don't think they know what's going on. Like I think it's like the digital twin stuff. You know what I mean? Like something's orchestrating everything that's going on right now. And everyone now, like years ago, I would have never thought that. But to me now, it seems like everyone, and then they have the gang stalker program to mix it up, and they have all these different, like, there's so many different narratives that it's hard to discern. And then it's different for each person based on your internal chemistry and what you're thinking, your beliefs, and you know what I mean? So it has to be like an AI driven, the chatter bot type of thing, right?
Yeah, they don't
But
understand that. People don't understand that everybody's targeting is different, and that keeps us divided because people's like, "Well, I don't go through that," or "He experienced it. I ain't never
yeah, like
experienced
yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like, I hope you don't have to. Like, imagine being shocked. Like, even in this conversation, that like 30 times already, just zap, 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 zap. And then if I don't go along with it, I get zapped in my head or scratch your ears. This is like, you know what I mean? It's impossible not to respond to it. You know what I mean? But it made me angry for a very, very long time. I was pissed off about all this. Now I've just learned to deal with it, which isn't healthy. That's not healthy at all. None of us should
it."
have to, you know what I mean, be isolated dealing with this our own ways. And there's no way, like I said, my phones are all I can't meet with anyone. I can't do nothing. I can't even contact anyone. I'm amazed I got it. Like I got a new phone just to have, you know what I mean, a conversation. And I bet you next time this will be garbage, right?
Right. Well, I appreciate you coming out and doing this, and I didn't know you had to buy a new phone
Hey
for it.
man, I appreciate
That's
you.
crazy.
Like I said, yeah, I try to post anyone with what's it called, like any testimonies and stuff like that, just because you have to take a huge base of information and make up your own mind based on. All right. Like
Right.
I'm worried that we're going out and doing like whatever this shooting and all this crap is orchestrated. If they know, or like even the missing kids and all this sort of stuff, you know what I'm doing down to my last, like literally my breath. You know what? But you can't find 50,000 missing kids in Canada each year. You know, you got no clue,
Did
not a
you
clue.
did you hear about the girl who got found in the oven at Walmart in Canada?
No.
Oh, there was a girl who got found in the
Oh,
oven at
actually,
Wal
yeah. I did. Yeah, I did.
That's
Yeah, I think
crazy.
I was in trouble. Yeah. She was locked in or something like that, and her mom worked there too. I can't remember exactly, but I see that was a
Yeah,
little
the
while
oven
ago,
was
like a
on
month
and
ago.
everything.
Yeah. I know it's messed up, man. Like,
And then
same as another thing I've had. So,
Walmart said there
like,
was
they're
not
going on
foul
there.
play. How do you get locked in a Walmart? How do you get locked in an oven with it on and there not be no foul play? I just think that was weird too.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of weird stuff. I like, and then with the drone stuff and all that. So, like, I've had a drone follow me for about 7 years daily, everywhere I go. Like, I go
Yep, we
walk,
do
like,
too.
right now, I can't. I tried to videotape it like 3 days before all this other crap started happening. And like every time I try to record it now, the light turns off. Like it pretends to be a star. I know it's not a star, but that's been happening to me for years and years and years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Which I'm
saw the
sure it's
stuff going
happening to
on
a
in
lot
New
of other
Jersey with
people.
the drones.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And they look the exact same. So like, don't tell me this. Like, I'm not being followed by UFOs here. You know what I mean? Like, I know who's
Huh.
doing it. This is all to me. I was put on the terrorist watch list thing, and this is what they get to do. And then they run 100 different scenarios. Like the gang stalking isn't really connected to the targeted. You know what I mean? And then we got weapons we're testing over here. We're doing this. We're doing that, and then you're discredited, and no one will listen to you. Like me personally, I got so at this house, and I guess it was around 2020, something like that. I had 6 cops just show up at my door, take me to the hospital, and drop me off to a guy in full military fatigues, and then just disappeared me for a month. I didn't speak to no one. I've asked my family since. They're like, "There's no way we would have done that. There's no way." So why'd you show up like 6 cops? Like I'm violent. You know, I have no charges. I have no nothing ever. You know what I mean?
They disappeared you
But
for a
they
month?
and dropped me off at the hospital to the military. It was that simple, to the
Wow.
military. And then I didn't speak to no one. When I got out, they said I'm schizophrenic and bipolar, and I didn't speak to anyone there the whole time. They had like the gang stalkers in there bouncing off walls and the whole bit, and then whatever. It's
Yeah, I got done that
amazing
way
how
in
far
Dallas.
these people. Yeah. But
You just
now,
sitting
so
in
if I
the,
go to the cops and say it, like I never did, I never filed reports and all. Like I went to the cops one time and told them I'm being stalked, and they told me to go to the hospital, and I wasn't acting like not acting crazy. You know what I mean? Like there's groups of people following me here. Can you help? What's going on? Obviously, you guys know what's going on because you're stalking me too. You know what I mean? And no, go to the hospital, which like whatever, right? So I never did the police stuff. I don't think like I really don't know what to do at this point. Like people are singing all these lawsuits and all this sort of stuff, but like you're gonna sue the same people that are doing it to us in the first place. Like
who's
it
going to
doesn't
have the
make sense
judge
to
look
me.
the
Like
other
there's a lot
way?
of yeah. Like it's a lawless society now. Like you know what I mean? The justice system is completely corrupt. Everything's completely corrupt. Like I don't really know, man. Uh, all the best to everyone doing it. Don't get me wrong, but for me personally, until I can, whatever, like someone's gonna have to come forward, which no one's gonna do. Like this is the complete enslavement, and then even then, these people, like say the FBI there, we got the RCMP here. Don't tell me that even the low people know really what like they just think you're a terrorist, so they do the gang stalking program. But inside of that program, they get to experiment on you above their pay grade. They can do whatever they want to you now, right? It's
Right.
like they
Have you
took
ever
away
been
your
to
rights.
America?
Only once when I was younger. Like
I was
I've
just
been followed.
wondering.
So I went to Mexico twice, Cuba. I was followed there too. Same thing. Like when I went to Cuba, this is in 2011, I think. So I was living out in the middle of nowhere. Like I live in a small city. There's maybe a couple hundred people here, and so I was even out more in the bush, like living on a lake and stuff. We went to Cuba, me and my ex, and people from down the street were in Cuba too. They showed up on the same plane right beside us, made friends with us the whole bit. I never thought about this back then. You know, it was like, what a coincidence, right? They're nice people. But no, they followed me to Cuba, right? And then I went to
Wow.
Mexico the next year. Same thing happened. And then I went to, so my honeypot, well, like the main honeypot, I guess you could say, went with me to Mexico and was doing all the weird crap. It's messed up. Like she was friends with other people that showed up there somehow. It was, I don't know, it was really weird. I ended up breaking up with her in Mexico. This is in 2014. But then when we got back to where my hometown, she was stalking me everywhere I went after that. And I'm thinking it's a relationship thing. You know what I mean? Not that she's part of this. And like all the people that were close to me that were stalking all got charged and or they got charged and let out early. And then they come straight to me and start stalking.
Right. In this program, you know, in isolate, I was going to ask you how you deal with your isolation, because I know when I was isolated and homeless and stuff, you know, you got to be your own best friend because you can't trust nobody else. So you're your own
Yeah,
best friend,
like
basically.
I'm only coming out of it now, man. Like in the past year, say, like I thought my family was in on it. They were saying weird stuff, but now that I know, I had no clue about the wireless body area network, how they're hooking us up to the cloud, all this. Like I watched, you know, I mean, non-vaxxer 420 on Rumble, Sabrina
Yeah.
Wallace, stuff like that. So it has helped me understand and suit. Like the only reason they got away with it all is because I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on. They want you to think that you're God, that you're this, you're that. Like any narrative, they let me on so many different narratives that I didn't know what was going on, and I'd follow it. Like, yeah, you get a big ego. I'm on the Truman Show, so they want me to do this. To you know what I mean? Then you're trying to look good for something that's not even going on. You know what I mean? It's like
So how
a
do you,
step
what's
by
some
step.
ways that if you could tell a new target what to do and how to cope, what would be some ways you could you would tell them? What would you tell them to do?
Educate yourself. Educate yourself. That's what helps me personally. Otherwise, if you think you know what's going on, whatever's going on is playing that narrative. Even if it's correct or not, it'll play that narrative, right?
Yep.
Until you realize something new, and then you're like, oh, and then it wants to lead you off on it. Like I'd recommend researching the wireless body area network, the biocyber interface, Internet of Things. These sorts
Internet
of
of
things will help
bodies.
you understand what, yeah, the Internet of bodies, what's happening to the people around you. Like if someone's repeating your thoughts in real time, it's impossible unless you're connected somehow or something's connected to all of us and just whoever's closest to you. Like you're now a node on the network, right? You're an antenna. It's in your like I don't know exactly how it's working exactly, but like
Right.
it's hooked up somehow, one way or another. Like I know they had me going off on the RH negative blood. No, like they took a bunch of my blood one time for no reason.
Are you
It
RH
didn't make
negative?
sense. I have no clue.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm AB negative, I think, or something like that.
So do you,
Whatever
is
that
that
means.
do you
But
got kind of reddish hair sometimes?
kinda, yeah, a little bit. Well,
You
my
might be
beard
RH
goes that color.
negative. You might have some
I
RH
don't know.
negative in you.
It's possible. So that's they led me down that path where I'm like, oh, I'm special because of this,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I'm special, right? Like so, it was like this is a couple years ago, but before I knew Target. Like I haven't had access to any of the targeting. I didn't know the name. Like I understood gang stalking way back by watching James Harkin video. This is like nearly a decade ago.
Yeah, James
But so
Harkin,
that kind of helped me.
that's how I found out about Target. And my handler sent me a video and said, I did this to you. And it was that community policing video by James Harkin. And I watched
Yeah,
it and I
yeah.
went to screenshot where where my handler had sent that to me and it had disappeared. But yeah, that was one of the first videos I ever watched at Target and was James Harkin.
Yeah. So that helped me out back then. And then I started like I've never done anything wrong. I'm nice to everyone. You know what I mean? I had lots of friends. I had close family. I got kids. Everything was normal, making good money. And then all of a sudden it went like overnight. You know what I mean? Then even so my Facebook, I haven't had Facebook in years now, just because they used all my contacts from like even kids when I was younger that I was friends with. Like we were like, you know what I mean, 10. they started showing up in my life like immediately within the first year. They were like, I mean, I had like 20 friends that I hadn't seen, but they all want to hang out. They're living down the street now, this and that. Like even around here, like these people don't work. I know they get these houses for free. They get them for free for sure. Like I don't know,
Right.
like I know they're both buying up full cities in Canada and all this stuff. Like to me, that's what I think's happening in the cars and stuff. That's why it doesn't make sense. Like I've seen perps get out. Like I mean, like I said, I'm in a very small town here. They all get out of one car, hop in another car, come stalk me with that car, go hop in another car, hop on a motorcycle, and it's the same person going from car to car all around it. And they have cars parked all around the city. Like my mom's seen this, my sister's seen this. So it's to me, it's free cars, free housing, and they get paid whatever their
Do they
salary is or
believe you?
whatever.
Does
Just
your family believe you?
my sister's starting to see like when we leave, say she'll give me a ride or whatever, there'll be ambulance for sure, always right in front of us the whole time, or a Purelator truck, like the same spot over and over and over. So she's starting to see it. Like they all thought I was crazy for years, man. I thought I was like, I knew I wasn't crazy, but what I was saying, like I was still, it didn't make it sounds crazy, and that's the point, obviously, right? But like, I don't even know, man. Like they've sabotaged my cars. They've sabotaged all these things. And then when I go out to the car, ambulance, whoop, whoop, whoop. And it's like, now my car don't work no more. Like I've had like 10 different cars, you know what I mean? Then when I taught myself how to fix my cars because I couldn't even take them to get fixed because seeing even with their oil changes and stuff, they did the same thing with the friggin' oil filter every single time. And I never knew how to change oil or nothing like that. Like I ended up learning how to tear a whole car apart just to go to
Right.
work.
Oh, they would change your oil and not change the filter, huh?
Yeah. Well, this goes
Yeah.
like they were playing with my brakes and stuff. Like I was driving nearly 5 hours a day there and back, and I was stalked the entire time. They tried to run me off roads. They've destroyed my car. When I was gone, they're going in my house, breaking shit. And then my ex, like we were buying a house out in the place where we went to Cuba and stuff. Those people there, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and they were showing up there. So I had to stay in a room in Toronto during the week while I was working, right? And they would go and harass her daily. Like I had a little baby there, the whole bit. They'd show up, like, so we were doing a rent to own type of thing. And the
Right.
supposed owners were showing up there daily, doing yard work, banging on the walls to her. And then when I'd get back, she'd be fighting with me to call them and all this crap, right? And it just got to the point where like they ruined our relationship for sure. And like
Wow.
on purposely to get me. And then this is like it's so like there's so much stuff to say. Like this never stops. It's every day, right? So like try putting 12, 13 years into a video. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's
You can have
possible.
all the proof in the world, you know what I mean? And then they erase it. It's like, yeah, you spent 2 3 months trying to get all this. Oh, you can't get in. Someone change your password, or you know what I mean? Whatever.
Have you ever
But
found yourself like talking when you talk to somebody, like writing down on a notebook what you're wanting to say and handing it to somebody?
I tried, yeah. I did that for it made me look crazy, but I was doing that for a long time
Yeah,
actually.
I've done that too.
But
Yeah.
it didn't make a difference because I didn't know
Uh-uh.
about the remote neural monitoring and all this, right? So they knew anyways, and then they repeat it when I walked down the street. Like they try the fear thing every day forever now, and it's like it doesn't work. This is what makes me think that it's AI, whatever. It's like a fear thing every single day. They'll try like say on social media, be like, I don't know, the shooter, and then it'll be cops standing there staring with the picture, and it's like someone I don't even follow or anything, and then it's like over and over and over, like for so long now that I was like I was never was scared, right? I was confused, yeah. But then when I got taken to the hospital and dropped off to the military, I knew for sure something, you know what I mean? And then not
Yeah.
speak to no one, they give you a false diagnosis, no one, you know what I mean? And they have people in the like I even built the hospital, that's the worst part. And they had me in like a
Wow.
separate wing and stuff. Yeah, man. Like so actually it's nearly Christmas. One time, so I went there a couple times. Same thing, get picked up, whatever, no reason. So they had me in like a separate wing in the hospital, where all the other patients, like I didn't talk to no one, no nothing. I'd try to talk to patients and stuff like that. But they're all bouncing, screaming their heads off, bouncing off walls. They're talking to the doctors and stuff like that. And then 2 days before Christmas Eve, they all came, like this is, I was there for 2 weeks, I think, something like that, 10 days. And they came in all dressed in their normal clothes now and handed me a card from the students of the college of that city. And there was like 8 of them, I think. So 8 people stayed in there for 10 days with me, acting crazy, and then handed me a card from the students of the college, all dressed in the normal clothes now and everything. And like, you know what I mean? Who's going to believe you?
Yeah.
Like, so they went to town on myself personally, but I've always been, I don't shut up. I'm never going to shut up. Like, you, whatever. They try to play the fear thing all the time. Like, go ahead, do it. Like, I'm not small here, man. Like, I'm 220 pounds. I'll mess you up. So they won't come near me. They'll do the stupid stuff. I don't know. Someone's deemed me a threat for sharing information. So I've always done it myself. Like, I know.
Whatever, you've been getting threats?
Anything. Yeah, like don't share this or whatever. Right. Like there's and then a bunch of crackheads, you know what I mean? To come try to intimidate. Good luck.
Yeah, they always try to put fear in you. And what the way I see about speaking out, you're going to be tortured anyway. You might as well speak out.
Right. That's exactly the way I am. I'm like, go ahead, knock yourself out. I'm not going to shut up. You can isolate me. That's been the biggest weapon they've had because now, like, I had lots of friends and stuff, right?
Yeah, because when you shut up, you're going to be tortured anyway. So you might as well just talk.
Yeah. Like I feel sorry. Like I get zaps to the brain and stuff like that hurt. I never had headaches in my life till about, well, it's not even a headache. Like I was thinking it was a headache like 5 years ago. Like I'm 40, so what? I went 35 years, never even know what a headache is, and then all of a sudden I'm being zapped in the brain, and it's always like based on my internal dialogue, what's going on in my head. Right at the end of the set, bam, zap. You know what I mean? So, like that is literally programming. It's MKUltra type stuff. You know what I mean? Repeat the same messages over and over and over and over and over with the stimuli at the same time, right at the exact perfect point. But it wears off. You know what I mean? Like, took a long time, don't get me wrong, but now it's worn off. Like, I know I'll get zapped extra after I'm done this conversation here, but who cares at this point? You know what I mean?
We got about 7 minutes left. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Stay away from the hospitals and stay away from the police. It's about all you could say. All you're helping them when you go do these things. Like I know you think you're going crazy, and I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? But I'd stay as far away, especially in Canada. They have the MAID program now, where medical assistance, euthanasia program, medical assistance in dying, which they're trying to pass in 2026 for mental health and homelessness and stuff. So you can go kill yourself. They'll make money off it, and they funnel you into like they're causing the mental health. We all know this. They're the ones causing.
Oh, really?
It. For us,
so they're trying to make it where if you're mental, you automatically get euthanized.
Yeah, they already tried to.
You don't have no control over it.
No, nope. They get paid to do it. And like, say you go in there, whatever. If you go in there and say anything, the first thing out of their mouth is, "Would you like to apply for me?" And whatever, man. Like that's what's going on. If you know history, this is exactly what happened in 1920s, 1930s Germany. You know what I mean? Like it's like exactly 100 years later, all this communism stuff. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's a program. I don't know about exactly what's going on, but like a lot of people don't.
Wow,
all you can do is educate
it's called yourself. The MAID program, huh?
MAID, medical assistance in dying.
Wow.
So that's coming right now in Canada. That's already, well, whatever. The third leading cause, well, first leading cause in some provinces is that. Like Quebec, from what I know, I think it's a third, like over 15,000 people did that last year. And it's just ramping up, like it's doubling, tripling every year. So they're causing the mental health problems. They funnel you into the hospital. They get your fake diagnosis. And then eventually, to me, for me personally, they're going to come round my ass up like they did last time. 6 cops take me to wherever and do whatever they want. Right?
Or you think you're going to
And this
eventually
is
get put
just
in
like,
that program?
oh, I'm positive. Like I'm whatever, I'll be fighting to the death, don't get me wrong, but yeah, like why else did they kidnap me? Why else did all this happen without my knowledge? Like there's no reason to have me on this list whatsoever, other than I talk near my computer and I know a whole, like this is just my information on targeted individuals. Like you want to talk about history, you want to talk about any of these other things or corruption. So who knows exactly? Like I know my mom was like that. She called out cops for trafficking children when I was like 12 years old. And she went crazy that year. All of a sudden, she was not, you know what I mean? And they could have
Wow.
started then. They could have watching then, you know what I mean? But I try not to go too far back. Like if you say it's been started, like sure, we might have been hooked up to a computer this our whole lives, but I mean, like stalking and all this crap, you got to keep
Wow.
it close, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, I really
Like it's
appreciate
happened
you
to me
coming
for
out.
a very long time. Yeah, same to you, man. I
And I really
appreciate all the
appreciate you
videos.
letting me know about this MAID program. I mean, I'd heard about it, but I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know it was that intense. That's insane.
Oh yeah, man. It's the policies are identical to the Weimar Republic and all like these things are it's just a repeat in history. Like history doesn't repeat, it rhymes, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's the same program. It's exactly 100 years later. It's exactly timing is just too impeccable. I think it was a plan the whole time. And who knows with they can know what we know already. Could they tell with the, like using algorithms and AI, could they tell what we're going to be in the future? This is like a preemptive attack on our, like a psychological warfare, a preemptive attack for before what comes. You know what I mean? Like they did the
Yeah.
exact same thing in Germany. They did the exact same thing in Russia and Cuba and Argentina and Pol Pot and whoever, you know what I mean? Just look at history. It's all you got to do. And you can see it repeating. Just now they have the technology that it's, we are literally slaves. Like if they could try to, like if you don't know what's going on and you're getting zapped all day long and your mind subconsciously, okay, yeah, no, you know what I mean? How many people are actually being like, I don't know. Like that's just my case. Like I get zapped. Let's try to control my brain that way. It's doing something in my head. I know, but it's not like someone else's voice. It's my inner monologue, but it doesn't make sense when my inner monologue, I got to go look it up. That doesn't make sense. So that helped me.
Right. Well, I appreciate you coming out, and I'm going to end the interview right now. We can say our goodbyes. I really appreciate it, and you
Yeah,
know,
actually, if anyone's looking for any information, I got it's targeted individuals / gang stalking information on X. That's my
okay.
channel.
You want to say that one
And
more
all I do
time
is
so they?
post. It's targeted individuals / gang stalking information
Okay.
on X.
All
And
right.
I got like long form, lots of stuff.
Yeah, I see a lot of your stuff. You share a lot of good stuff. Well, all right. I'm going to stop the
Oh, that's
recording
what I
right
do with my
now.
time.